Hello, everybody, and welcome to the US Session Brief. We're on Thursday, the 20th of April 2023. Half two here in Europe. That means we're just under an hour away until the US Open. The big news this morning is Tesla is down over 7% on disappointing earnings. Automotive GM's regulatory credits came in at 19% versus the 20+% the company had previously discussed. Free cash flow also came in much lower than expected at $441 million, down from $1.4 billion last quarter. Inventories are also piling up, which may suggest that Tesla has a demand problem. On the conference call, Tesla discussed focusing on moving volume instead of pricing and discussed favorable monetization opportunities from FSD. Elon Musk also making comments that they're gonna continue slashing the prices of the Tesla, which is already down $7,000. Its core model this year. US equity futures have been moving lower throughout the day, along with the US dollar, oil, Bitcoin, and rates. Gold is off its lows from Wednesday. The yield curve inverts further at minus 0.649%. We'll do a quick wrap up of Asian and European markets because Asian markets also ended lower today. Greater China ended mixed with mainland benchmarks low, but Hong Kong slightly higher despite falls in several EV makers. Japan's Nikkei was slightly higher. European equity markets are slightly lower. Deutsche Bank is planning to cut jobs at executive board, infrastructure, and private banking businesses. German producer prices rose 7.5% year on year versus a 9.8% expected and 15.8% prior. Not too bad. In Americas, the latest Fed Beige Book says activity little changed, but outlook deteriorated in two districts. The New York Fed President Williams says inflation is still too high. The Fed will act to slow it. Ratings firms on track to cut most US corporate bonds to junk since the early part of the pandemic. IBM. I was just getting my letters confused. Q1 profit beats expectations, signaling demand for IT services is holding up. President Biden has rejected House Speaker McCarthy's debt ceiling proposal, calling on the GOP to drop threat of default. Some comments from ECB President Christine Lagarde hitting the docket, and her comments are pretty interesting. Inflation too high, according to Lagarde. Well, yes, Mrs. Lagarde, you don't say. Well, at least she's on the ball compared to UK Chancellor Jeremy Hunt, because he's been making some comments saying that the UK does not have an inflation problem. The UK's inflation numbers is the highest of the G7 nations. We should just have had the Philadelphia Fed Factory Index that's come through at minus 31.3 versus an estimated minus 19.3. So that's now depression levels, the Philly Fed, basically. What else have we just had through? We should just be having through initial jobless claims. Yeah, 245k versus an expected 234. You can see markets not really reacting too much to either of them data releases. For the rest of the day, we've got existing home sales to look forward to, and also we've got three Fed speakers. I'll tell you which ones exactly now, if I can find them. We've got Christopher Waller, we've got Laurie Logan, and Raphael Bostich, who always has some interesting comments to make, and they're all coming in around about 4 hours throughout the rest of the day, from 4 hours onwards. So that's where we're at. Let's have a look. Oil been getting smashed the past couple of days. Now we're looking back towards. I've been talking about that upside resistance level and just proving really sticky at that 82.30 area, and we just haven't been able to see a clean breakthrough there and close above. And then since then, we've had a few lower closes. That one yesterday really hitting hard because it broke below the previous few weeks' lows as well and closed below there, importantly. And today that we've just seen a follow through with new sellers being found here, a lot of stops being taken out on the longs. And now that move getting exacerbated at the downside with the potential for a move down to 76.20 from here. Dollar yen, that rising channel continues, the structure continues to hold quite nicely. You can see we've run into the top of there on yesterday's daily bar, rejected off there, so a nice little reversal trade as that structure holds up, also coming into horizontal resistance at 13532. Heading lower today then, and just watch out because for a move back down into 13350 could be on the cards. Gold is relatively flat on the day, well, just higher I should say really, but there's not really too much change, just seeing some mean reversion really at the minute on a lower time frame basis around that 2000 level. You can see we haven't really moved from where we were at, a good 3 weeks ago now on the 20th of March. S&P then, we've got sentiment looking like a risk off kind of day, I would say, today so far. Let's see how we open in around about an hour. We've got some more earnings today to look forward to. Let me just double check who we've got today that could be of interest. We've got American Express, AT&T, Blackstone. There's no real major big hitters there. Blackstone may be of small interest to see how private equity is doing, but that's around about it really. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the session. That's it for mine for the US brief. I'll see you all inside the chat room. Thank you everybody for listening, and all the best with your trading. Bye for now.